appears we have made contact.
Welcome to the Lazy BardCast. I'm David Williams, the Dungeon Master for the ongoing game, and we're wrapping up our studio in the moment, and half of it is held together with pieces of White Claw boxes.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor,
but could be.
My name's Kyle Paquin. I'm playing Talgroth, the Mountain Shield Dwarf. He's not short. He's fun-sized.
Like a Snickers bar.
I'm Kyle Dell, and I'm playing Captain Korvac, the Undying Messiah, Ellipses. I gotta collect them all.
My name is Josh Yarnell. I'm playing Orion Goodbarrel. And I should probably mention now that we're getting on a boat, Orion's probably not the strongest swimmer, but he knows how.
You live in a place called Waterdeep, and you're not the strongest swimmer?
I know how to swim, but I got little legs and tiny feet, so...
Well, boy, you're gonna learn today.
My name is Sean Luke. I'm playing Maven the Monolith Smolderbeard, a Dwarven Tempest Cleric, and the most electrifying man ever.
Period.
If you like what you hear, look us up at the Lazy BardCast, where things are found. For all other things lazy, check out www.lazybardcast.com, where you can find links to our episodes, player backstories, Patreon rewards, and more.
Last time on the Lazy Podcast.
Lady Laryl eventually met up with all of you and said that she had a prisoner, Store, an old accomplice to Maven and Korvac. And after questioning him, it seemed that he was assaulted by whatever figure had intruded upon some of your minds inside of the Warrens and had this similar drive to go east. Making an oath, he swore to seek vengeance on whatever this was and to find his daughter and come with you guys in the meantime. We pick up aboard the Ocean Splendor with all of you beginning to plan your journey to Gunderland. As you had spoken to Shmi, well, in front of Shmi and Tithir, they have begun the process of gathering supplies for the journey, gathering any kind of cannonballs, food, rations, things of that nature, wood to keep fires burning for when it's cold out. And well, you guys have about a day to do whatever it is you want. As you're spending this time, you see that Store is getting back into kind of the same routine that he was in previously aboard the voyage. He's sitting down playing dice with some people, and everybody seems pretty jovial, pumped to be going somewhere, traveling, and getting away from Waterdeep.
Is there a music shop in Waterdeep?
Yeah, there's music shops.
I want to pick up some new strings. Mine are covered in dirt and blood and all viscera of every kind.
Sure, yeah, you can pick up. Do you want just one set of strings? You want a few?
I'll pick up a few. Yeah, why not?
Well, we'll say it's 3 gold per set of strings.
Yeah, sounds good. And I'll re-string up my loot aboard the ship.
I guess Talgroth will kind of set out across the city and look for upper-end blacksmith that might be able to fashion him something. Armorer, to be more specific.
You make your way out, and you head to a somewhat well-known blacksmith by the name of Reynard Blackrock in town. He's a human, which, you know, Dwarven make is generally better, but he has the best stuff in the city in general. And you make your way there, and heading inside, you can see that he's rebuilding some of the areas in his shop that were damaged during the attack, though he is in more of a nobility quarter of the city. Walking inside, little bell goes off, and may I help you?
Aye.
What is it that you're looking for?
I'm looking for a helm. I'm trying to find something that matches my armor here. You'll notice it's a little more fancy than normal. He'll give a small grin.
Yeah, I think I have something like that, and you see him kind of pause and look at you, and are you a member of Clan Silverflame?
Aye.
I have something you might be interested in. I'll bring that with a helm. Are you just looking for something that matches your style, more functionality?
A little bit of either. I haven't worn one in a long time, but I think it's time.
So he heads into the back in a few moments, comes forward, and he's holding in his hands, he has 2 helms. One is more like gold ornated around the edges of it, very pristine looking, more fashion over function. And the other one, it looks like it has a few battle scars, things of that nature that have been pounded out and rebuilt. Well, these are the 2 helms. They're both plate. The more ornate one here, that one's going to run you 1,200 gold. The more well-used plate helm, we're looking at about 400 gold right now. However, I also have this, and he pushes this small puck across the table. It looks like a hockey puck where one side has been like hollowed out. It's probably about 6 inches around. And looking at it, it seems to bear the symbol of Clan Silverflame around the edges. I'm not sure exactly what this is for. It looks like it could be fashioned onto a hammer or something of that nature. But you're a member of Clan Silverflame. I don't really have much use of this.
All right. Well, I think I might mull it over about the helms, but I'll certainly take whatever that is from the clan.
Absolutely. If you just take it, I've had it for a few decades. I don't know who to sell it to, and none of your clan come here. Just take it. It's a gift, and just be thinking of me and come back and purchase the helm.
Will do. Thank you.
Of course.
Bye.
And you take it and head back to the ship. Talgroff, looking over this piece, you know, looking over this is your father's craftsmanship. Not only is it of Clan Silverflame, your father built this piece at some point. And looking at this piece, this hockey puck piece, it looks like it slides over the bottom of the handle of the axe that your father forged you. No problem at all.
Talgroff will take it and quickly just start placing it different places on the axe to see whatever fits.
And sticking it in the bottom, this piece makes your axe, 1, considered a light weapon, and 2, it makes it a weapon of returning.
Oh,
That's cool.
you could throw it.
And it comes back.
It also makes it considered
your dad.
magical, so it overcomes magical resistances. So, you all reconvene aboard the ship, ready to go in the morning. All your supplies ready to go. All the sailors are starting to sing the sea shanties that Maven had taught them.
And Orion.
And Ryan.
And the ship's ready to leave port when you guys are.
Everybody gather around. We have done many a deeds for this city. That one right there, Waterdeep. And I think it's time that we go back on our own quest to do our own things. And maybe save another city. We have done a lot, all of us. Maiden, Talgroff, Orion. I think we can do many good other places. And I'm going to keep going off and I'm going to do my speech.
Okay.
To get everyone their temp HP.
Cool.
Oh.
The whole crew seems rejuvenated after your speech, Korvac, and everyone's pumped. They continue singing the sea shanties that Maven taught them. And at the end of your speech, the crew members throw the ropes, tethering the boat back onto the docks, and you all begin making your way out to sea. Orion, your first ocean adventure, and Talgroff, maybe you as well.
To Gundaloon.
Underloon.
But you all set off, sea shanties aboard, and people already starting to drink.
Pass that this way, my good man.
About an hour into your journey, Store comes up to you, Maven. Maven, I don't mean to overstep my bounds, but being back on sea, I think we could start like Fight Club.
Yeah, okay, just running by the captain. Fine by me.
Would you fight?
Oh, yeah.
I'll let the men know. I'll let the captain know. He runs off and starts talking to some of the other men. But you guys continue heading forward in the ocean. For Maven and Korvac, this is probably a pretty welcoming journey, as being out in the open seas. You leave Waterdeep behind you, just the horizon of the ocean all the way around you as far as you can see. Directly northwest in the direction of Gunderloon, you can see that there appears to be a light storming up ahead. Some heavy fog, but it's nothing you haven't been in before.
Maven, I got something for you as the crow of this ship. You like to go in that nest up there, that crow's nest.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got one of those eyes, those spy glasses, but I've got one for you that I would like you to have. And I'm going to pull out the original ornate spyglass that I got from like session 2 or whatever.
Wow.
And I'm gonna,
that is really fancy looking.
you got a I cannot give it to you.
I'll take it. It's just, man, that is really nice.
Is it bedazzled?
It is very ornate.
Isn't it like platinum? Wasn't it something crazy? Like
It's woven platinum and electrum.
Wait, where did we get that? I don't even remember. I was there with you, but I don't even remember.
Don't ask me, I died, so my memory is all messed up.
I'll take it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I believe it was off the wreck of the Golden Crown, if I remember right.
Is this a 15-time scope?
No, but using it, Maven, it is definitely ornate, but not only form, it's also function. You can tell that this is probably the nicest spyglass to ever have been made.
Thank you, Captain.
Use it well while you're the crowing, and
I will.
While you're finishing up your conversation, Store approaches. Captain, me and some of the crew, Maven included, we were hoping we could maybe start a fight club aboard the ship.
Fight Club.
You know, punching each other for fun.
Oh, I mean, it does sound fun. As long as it doesn't affect our ability to sail
Of course.
or damage my ship, or... Well, that's about it.
It should be something that brings the crew more together.
Absolutely.
In a weird way, yes.
Well, punching people is the best way I know to bring them together.
That's true. That's so true.
Thank you, Captain.
Now you can fight Orion.
I wouldn't want to hit such a young lad. Maybe.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
We shall see.
About another hour or so passes, and you're getting to the point now where you're approaching the edge of this storm. The fog is really starting to roll in, and it's nothing serious. It's just large swells, but nothing that's really beating against the side of the boat. It's gently raining outside. The wind's beginning to go, and you can hear the sound of distant thunder. And the crew and Maven, Korvac, you're well-traveled enough, well-versed with ships to know how to ride the outskirts of a storm without getting into the eye of it out at sea. And you continue making your way. The fog does get quite heavy. A few minutes go by before you hear a call from the crow's nest. Over the now kind of steadily plummeting rain, it's definitely more than a sprinkle, but it's not quite a storm at the moment. And you hear, Maven, you should come see this. I think I've spotted a ship on the horizon. It's directly behind us.
Can I make out any details about it, or?
Yeah, make a perception check. It's going to be a straight roll, because you would have disadvantage.
21.
So with the storm, the waves are definitely surging out in the open seas. You're kind of getting away from that rocky area at this point. But as the waves are surging up and down, you can just make out as a smaller ship behind you, smaller than your ship, but one definitely well-equipped, surges just over the waves, and you can make out another individual, a tiefling, standing in the crow's nest, a male tiefling, with a broken horn on the right side, with his spyglass out looking right in your direction. The rest of the ship you can see has black masts hanging from it. It's a 3-mast ship as well, though on a slightly smaller scale. And you can tell that there's a pattern on the sails, but it's really hard to make out against the storm.
How far away are they?
You guess they're about quarter mile. With your knowledge of ships, their size, they could certainly outmaneuver you, though you definitely outgun them.
Captain,
Yeah, well, what is it?
we got a ship coming up on our tail.
What, a ship?
Yeah.
Do the people look threatening?
Make an insight check.
23.
So, Maven, as you're looking over the ship between the surges with the flashes of light, you notice a few things. One, you notice that across the deck, it is all tieflings on this boat. Of all different sizes, some larger with beer guts, some smaller, more lanky, close to starving, broken horns with large cracks going down the side, missing teeth, some of them have tusks, men and women alike, various different skin colors from reds, purples, blues, greens. But what you very visibly notice is, one, that there are a number of them currently loading cannons into the cannonballs on the side that you imagine they could pull up, coming up behind you almost at a right turn angle. The other thing that you notice, probably much more notably, is that there's a number of individuals on the side of the ship that concentrate for a few moments, and you watch as their body begins to change. Their muscles, their tiefling skin begins to turn a deeper gray color. Small fins begin to appear across their back. Rows and rows of shark-like teeth appear in their mouths, and as they leap off the side of the boat, their legs form into a large shark tail as these were-shark tieflings are darting into the water and swimming significantly faster than their ship in your direction.
Yeah, they're not friendly. They're loading cannons right now, and a couple of them are on their way.
Load the cannons!
You start hearing the bell at the bottom of the mast begin to go off as everyone begins manning battle stations, loading cannons below deck, and preparing for an attack. This ship is definitely slowly closing the gap, and every now and then in the flashes of light, you can see shapes under the water getting closer to your ship as these were-sharks are still making their way in your direction. Though, when there is no lightning flashing off, it is impossible to see them in the dark water.
Hey, Maven, I have an idea.
What?
I can turn into like a really, really big whale, and I can try to bump their ship around. Maybe breach a hole in the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they can swim pretty well, but it's up to you if you think they'll...
I'm already in the water!
All right, sure, yeah.
And Maven, you would know, as well as probably Korvac would know, that with your current trajectory and speed, you have about 5 minutes before they're able to close the gap, maybe 4 before the were-sharks can make their way.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast polymorph as I jump off the front of the boat,
Okay.
and I'm gonna turn into a blue whale.
Okay, we're gonna roll initiative.
17.
Nice.
10.
5. He's getting his armor on.
Okay, so Orion, you jump off the side of the ship midair, casting polymorph on yourself, and you turn into a blue whale.
A blue whale.
A creature which, at the moment, is larger than your current boat.
Yes.
Now, while you are larger than that, you are fast in the water. It's going to be hard to navigate on a dime.
Sure. I'm gonna just go straight for the front of the boat. I'm gonna ram the boat head on.
Sure. The other thing you notice is the moment you hit the waves, even in your whale form, you hear whispering voices ripping through the water, carrying across the waves, and make a perception check as a whale with disadvantage.
Why, you're... This is Dory talking.
13. He's proficient, actually.
Okay, that's just enough to barely make out what's happening. So, as you jump into the water, your whale form breaches the waves. As it calms down, you start taking off in the direction of this boat. You hear all these whispering sounds coming from below you. You make out just vaguely on the edge of your vision as a large bolt of lightning strikes near overhead. You see the vague shape of an astronomically large creature, huge tentacles writhing off of its backside. An enormous creature below the waves with some sort of growth on the side of its head.
And that's just deep underneath, or is that following their boat?
You imagine it's
or-
at least 300 or 400 feet beneath you and kind of diagonally almost in between you guys, but you feel this intelligent presence pushing through the waves and really almost invading into your mind as you enter its lair.
You start swimming east.
All right.
This creature, Orion, as you are in your blue whale form, this creature is easily triple your size, if not more.
Oh, wow.
So this is like 8 times the size of our
This
boat.
is like Titan size.
Kraken. Thulu.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Cthulhu.
Frightened, I'm going to continue my trajectory to just ram the boat as hard as I can in the front.
Okay.
See if I can bust a hole and slow him down or something.
Yeah, how fast is a blue whale?
60 feet, and I can dash.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll say you get like, I don't know, how long is a quarter mile? You get like a quarter of the way there. Does that sound right?
Sure.
120 feet?
Yeah.
Sure. Sounds great.
You're the DM.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, comment below how much of an idiot I am if I'm wrong. We appreciate any comment.
Helps the algorithm, folks.
Orion has jumped off the edge of the boat, and the whole boat, as he hits the water as a blue whale, the whole boat like careens to the side as he was larger than the boat when he landed. Maven.
I'm going to hold a spell until they come within 300 feet.
Cool, what spell?
Ice Storm.
Cool, awesome. Cormac, it's your go.
I'm going to take a second and think about what I'm going to do. And in that moment, while I'm thinking, I'm going to haste Maven.
What is that, like Adderall?
Yeah.
Yeah, Corvac, if you want to read what that does.
So until the spell ends, the target speed is doubled. It gains +2 to AC. It has advantage on Dex saving throws, and it gains an additional action on each turn.
Talgroth, as all of this happens and you look back to see the ship, as a bolt of lightning strikes again, you see the symbol of Valega's Chosen on the sails of this ship. Against the black sail, in this flash of light, you see a hand, a very withered hand, all the fingers broken and dying, in this deep beige color on the front of the sail.
As Talgroth stumbles above deck with half of his armor on from his intense concentration that was broken by the ding-a-linging of the bell upstairs, he comes out and sort of looks at the flag and recognizes it, has a sinking feeling in his stomach, but runs his hands together, creating a small silver flame, and then throws it out, and a couple different little smaller silvery flames lands on his friends as he casts Aid.
Ooh, look at that.
Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target's hit point maximum and current hit points are increased by 5 for the next 8 hours.
Nice. As all of this is going on, Orion, as you've now entered this creature's lair inside of the water, you feel the whispers pushing into your mind, all of these crazy languages you've never heard or understood of before. If you could make an intelligence check for me, please.
8.
As a whale, with what intelligence you have being able to charge towards the ship. Your intelligence score drops to 1, and now you're a whale in the ocean. You're having a great time.
I'm still just swimming fast. I was swimming fast before. I'm swimming fast now.
Yeah.
Why is Orion just swimming way past the boat? And then he's gone.
Orion, it gets to your turn.
Yeah.
You're just swimming.
All right.
You can see the shape, this big black blob from below you, making its way up a little bit higher. You're like, that's weird.
Yeah, what's that? Is it a massive krill?
Maybe.
I'm gonna go find out.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you turn in its direction. As you do, you see this large, enormous, just blob of a creature with all these tentacles coming off of its back, shoved into the side of its head, covered in all of these like weird things that attach it to it, is this like pulsating object. You don't know what it is, but it's definitely not krill, whatever this thing is.
I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna go look somewhere else then.
Okay, cool. Since the were sharks are in the water as well, they roll the same save you do.
They're just sharks. So
And you don't know what happens.
they're all just animals in there.
Anyway, Maven, it's your go.
I'm just charging up like Goku right now.
Yeah, getting ready to Kamehameha.
Planting my feet further into the ground. Yeah. Every episode you think it's going to be done, it just keeps going.
Awesome. As you're looking at the ship and pointing out the small figures to Talgroth, you notice that the figures are dispersing, flicking out randomly in every direction. And not one of them is coming your way at the moment.
They're trying to flank us. They're really intelligent.
I rolled 3 natural 1s and some other rolls.
Wow, you deserve a shot.
But the ship is still making its way in your direction. Over the next 3 minutes or so, your ships continue to get slightly closer to each other before you see from the enemy ship 3 cannons fire off. Your ships fire off in return. Korvac, as the ship's captain, kind of directing everybody. If you would like to make 4 attacks, the cannons, do it. Just they'll just be straight rolls.
2 19s,
Dang.
a 14, and a 3.
Okay, so 2 of those hit. As the cannons fire off, one goes far over the top of the ship and splashes into the water. One goes a little bit near, and one just hits the steel reinforced hull in the front. And while you hear and feel the impact on the boat kind of rock, you don't see any splinters of wood. You don't hear the sound of the steel sloughing off the front of the ship into the water or anything like that. It looks like
Probably
it's done
pretty loud.
Yeah. Oh, it's hella loud. Orion, you definitely hear that. This is kind of in the water. Your boats, 2 of the cannonballs connect, one with the side of the ship and one with like the center of the deck, as it just blows chunks of wood off of their ship. 2 of them do miss and go wide, but you definitely connected with their boat, and you can see the crew members scrambling around on the upper deck trying to patch up whatever holes they can. All right, initiative count 20. You all see this dim purple light underneath the water that emanates out easily past the boat in front of you. It starts nearby your position and then quickly flickers out around you. And you can see all these bubbles beneath the surface of the water being pushed to the surface. Since your boat can't make dexterity saving throws, it's going to fail. So is their boat. As this pulse goes out across the water, Maven and Talgroth standing on kind of the edge of the ship, you can see in the water as this purple flash goes off, you can see the silhouette of this enormous creature below the waves. This huge squid-like body, all of these writhing tentacles reaching up around the bottom of the ship like it's about to grab onto it. And this strange, unnatural-looking head. Even from above the waves, you can tell that something's wrong with its head. But this shimmering barrier pushes up and shatters into the bottom of the ship. You all feel almost for a moment like an elevator dropping as the ship's picked up momentarily before being slammed back into the water. A lot of the waves pull up over the sides. You can hear the sound of cracking boards on the bottom, and immediately the sound of rushing water is very apparent to all of you. However, you also notice in the commotion, the other ship that is now, after this goes off, it's taking on some water at this point, and they're really starting to struggle to keep it going.
If they're within range, I'll let my spell off.
Okay, yeah, they're within range. So your ice storm centered on this area above the ship, slightly in front of the ship, so that way it really has time to make its way through it. You see the ice just forming in the clouds from up above now. Instead of rain, all these shattering icicles coming down on top of the ship begin pelting into it. You see shattering boards being broken out. A few of the sailors get impaled and fall to the ground. You're doing work.
I'm just going to go down to the bottom and see the damage of the water.
Yeah, as you make your way down below the ship, you can already tell that there's a frantic energy going on as the people manning the cannons. A few of them are still trying to load cannonballs and get them fired off, but many of them are now scrambling to get to the damaged parts of the ship, which, as you step down below, you can see gaping holes in the bottom of the hull, as whatever this is really torn away at the boards.
Okay.
It looks fairly extensive, but it's definitely recoverable at the moment.
Okay.
Maven, you see Smee run down, start grabbing boards, grabbing bailing buckets, unload cannons, whatever it is that's needed at the moment. The opposing ship begins to turn hard left, pointing away from your direction at this point, as it is still making its way through the ice storm. And so it just gets completely pelted. You can already tell that the boat's riding pretty low in the water, but it looks like they're trying to escape whatever this thing beneath the waves is. The were sharks that jumped over the edge are nowhere to be found. You're not really sure of where they are. But whatever Valega's chosen were doing here at Talgroth, they seem to be running.
Are the sails of their ship like torn to shreds from this hailstorm?
Yeah, they're pretty
ice
hurt.
storm?
Yeah.
Nice.
Maven will swirl his hands around and apparently pick up a drop of water and flick it, and then he will redirect the flow of the water, and I'll just yell, "Get it patched up!" And I'll just hold that under the ship for now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say for the time being, you're able to push back the water, and the guys start jumping on it and trying to patch it up as best they can.
I'll yell for Talgroth too. Get down here, Tallgrass!
I'd also say, pushing the water away, this purplish light from the bottom,
Creepy.
you can tell that this creature is now almost redirecting its attention to something else in the water. As this enormous, whatever beast it is, begins to turn to the side, and all of its tentacles, it pushes back in one motion, begins swimming deeper below the waves.
What a bastard. It's like, let's break this. Oh, look over here. A whale.
The other ship with Valega's chosen as Korvac, you're the only one at this table still above deck, though there are still other members manning the sails, helping change direction with you as you're turning the wheel. What you notice is, one, the Valega's chosen ship is now really starting to take on water. You can see occasionally the waves kind of lap over the top before it buoys to the surface, but most of the crew members on there, even from your distance, you notice them looking around, trying to figure out what it is that they're going to do, pretty not understanding how to handle the situation aside from staying aboard their sinking ship.
Sucks.
Yeah. The other thing you notice, as you position your wheel with the ship, the current very quickly shifts immediately to your port. As the whole ship is rocked to the side, everyone on board feels it. And Maven, as you're the one holding back the water, you can see rushing water coming from the starboard side of the ship to the port side of the ship, beneath the water that you're keeping out of it. And this creature, what's remaining of it, gets sucked through the water with it as it's just shooting across. You imagine controlled. Orion, as you're swimming along, you feel the current begin to shift.
Weird.
As you're going, you feel yourself going faster and faster.
Yeah.
That same familiar shape, it's like coming behind you again. It's not Krill, but whatever it is, it seems interested in you.
I'm gonna double check and get closer to make sure it's not Krill.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of turn to the side and
Maybe it's
almost
Krill
like
this time.
stop swimming for a moment, but your body, like as a whale, it gets kind of bent in a U-ish shape as the current. It's the strongest current you've ever been in before.
Jeez.
And this form coming incredibly quickly in your direction as it gets within 100 feet or so, still right on the edge of your vision. The current sucks stopped, and you're almost pulled backwards, almost whiplash below the waves. And this form, all these tentacles form out from around it, and you hear all the whispers return to your brain as this thing begins communicating with you in a language you now understand. With that, if everybody else could leave so that I can go over what happened. So Ryan, in your whale form, though this creature You didn't previously understand what language it was speaking, and though you've lost your intelligence for the time being, whatever language it begins to speak in, it's reminding you of everything you've experienced, of the last time something spoke to you like this, a language that was familiar, a charm that you feel still resides within you.
Man.
And it begins speaking to you, and
You are foolish.
I am not.
Do you know the city you seek?
The one in the forest?
You say it's in the forest, yet here I am. I think it's time you make a change. Who is your greatest ally in this moment? It is me, Orion, the one who spares your life, the one who continues to toy with your mind.
you feel a familiar presence being pushed into your mind as, with this permanent charm, he is able to choose when you fail saving throws.
Okay.
And as he does so, your memory of this conversation dissipates. You're left with a memory floating on the surface, Orion, one of not only what lies east, but what lies beneath the waves, what cannot be found above ground, but what can only be traversed through alternate means. And as you're thinking about this, as this information is being given to you, you recall a story your father told you years ago, a story about a city beneath the waves, one that many shark-like people lived in, one that had powers to traverse the earth and wished only to make well with those that dwelled above the waters. A race of Sawajin people. And that seems to be what this voice is directing you to. This creature pulls back and out of your view as your whale, and then you feel your concentration be completely broken from your polymorph spell, and
How
you
deep am I underwater?
poof back into Orion. You imagine about 50 feet or so below the surface, about 4 minutes away from the boat.
And I
Whale speed.
have all my wits about me.
We'll say as you snap back into Orion's form, you are able to recall your previous knowledge and your intelligence comes back. So, Orion, you don't feel compelled to do anything, and this time, to you as a player, whatever force it was previously that was driving you, this time it feels far more intelligent and thought through, a force that, rather than forcing your idea to everyone else in a blunt way that will make people such as Maven
Like a long con.
think about this, it's more of a, you have to get there, and you have to bring everybody with you.
Okay.
All right, so as the combat, quote unquote, dies down over the next few minutes, you get the ship patched up enough that you imagine you could keep going until you either made it to port or to somewhere to do some repairs. Orion is nowhere to be found at the moment, and Korvac, you're above deck. You do see in the water the floating tieflings, some of them kind of flailing to grab onto boards and barrels and whatever they can to stay afloat.
Well, I'm not going to help them.
Sure.
Do I see the boat in the distance?
Make a survival check for me.
17.
You're looking up, looking for the moon, looking for stars, anything to kind of help guide you. You are able to make out the moon barely peeking through some of the clouds, as well as a few stars. You get the feeling that you probably came from the north.
Okay. I don't know how horrible it is that my loot is soaking wet. I'm going to raise it out of the water. It's magical. I'm going to raise it out of the water, and I'm going to play a little chord, and I'm going to cast Sending to Maven. Now
Okay.
I'm going to say, I can't find my way back. Make a big boom.
You get the message, Maven.
Well, hearing that, I'm going to go to the top deck and then thaumaturgy and yell, boom.
Okay. Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Do I see these people in the water?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to jump in and kill them.
So I got a 23.
You hear a couple of booms over the next couple of minutes, and it's hard to tell which ones are from thunder and which ones are vaguely different, but you can just barely make out from one of them an audible word. Boom.
Nice.
So it's going to be a quick minute before you get back to the boat, but at this point, you're able to follow the boom. Yes, Talgroff?
Targoff seeing Maven run up, he's going to ask, what you yelling for? What's going on?
Orion asked me to do it. Hold on, move aside. I'm going in the water.
Oh,
I'll dive in the water.
I suppose if we're trying to find him, and I'll rub my hands together again and think real hard about Orion's loot and cast Locate Object.
Nice. Yeah.
All right.
I'll also cast dancing lights in the largest orb I have above our ship.
Nice. Awesome. Between all of this, Talgroff, you cast a spell. You get the sense that he's nearby, and over about 10 minutes, you're able to make your way back to the ship through all of these means of help. And as you get closer, you can see the spotlight above the ship that you recognize as, I assume, the same coin that you've always used as your dancing light.
It is a gold coin currently, meaning the largest form of dancing lights.
Perfect.
Once I'm within 500 feet, I'm just going to dimension door to the deck of the ship.
Sure, before you do that, before you get to the ship, and while Talgroff and Korvac are still communicating with Orion to get him back to the ship, Maven, you dive into the water and you make your way in the direction of these tieflings. As you get closer, you see all these shapes, all of these tieflings grabbing onto barrels and things, and as you get close, you see them kind of smile and then begin to shapeshift into the forms of were-sharks.
Let's do it.
As they were hoping someone would come after them. You see that there's still about 7 of them in the water here.
Great.
And then we'll roll initiative. I got a 14. What's your initiative?
6.
So as you dart in their direction, they all begin changing forms into these were-sharks, and then they begin to cut out and swarm around you, moving equally as quickly as you're able to in the water. So you're going to take a few attacks. So there's 6 of them remaining. You're going to take multi-attacks from all of them.
Okay.
First one probably misses. That's an 11.
Yeah.
And natural 1. Second, that one probably hits. That's a 23 to hit.
That hits.
So he is going to bite you first. And I need a Constitution saving throw.
Natural 19 plus...
It saves. So you take 14 points of piercing damage. His second attack now has advantage because they have Blood Frenzy. That's going to miss, though. The third were-shark is going to make 2 attacks as well. That's a 23 to hit.
Hits.
Need another con save.
19.
You take 16 points of damage, but you pass the con save. His second attack, that's a 21 to hit. So you're going to take 6 points of piercing damage. That was the third one, so you're halfway through the attacks. And they're all with advantage. So a natural 20 and a dirty 20.
That hits.
Okay, so make a Constitution check.
Natural 20.
26 points of piercing damage from the bite attack, plus 7 points of damage from his weapon. 24 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, another Constitution save.
19.
Saves 8 points of piercing damage, and then his weapon attack is a 19. Meets, okay. So you take 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
The last were-shark,
Jesus Christ.
15 to hit with his
Misses.
bite, okay. And then his weapon attack is a natural 20.
Okay.
12 points of piercing damage from that attack.
Sure.
So all these were-sharks now, as they see you darting towards them, they shift in their forms and dart directly towards you, gnashing their teeth at you, slicing at them with their swords, stabbing. A few of them do have tridents, and just trying to just take you out. As now there's blood in the water. All these were-sharks are just in a frenzy at the moment, just completely surrounding you as there are 6 of them. It's your go.
Taking all these bites in the water, I'm going to like swim up in the air, and I'm just going to yell boom again, and I'm going to cast Destructive Wave. And they all have to make a con save, and they all take 5d6 thunder and 5d6 radiant.
Nice. Cool.
Never heard of that.
I haven't either. That's dope. Let's see. 5 of the 6 fail.
Yeah, I'll max out the thunder part then.
Okay. So 5d6 of it, so 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll roll the 21. And they're all pushed 10 feet away from me.
You shatter out this electrical barrier, push them all back. They still look fighting, verging on bloodied.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go up and go closer to the ship then.
All right. So you make your way, you get to the ship, and you start climbing the ladder on the side.
They're coming.
Korvac and Talgroff, you see Maven making his way up with obvious bite marks from a number of were-sharks.
I'm going to... Are they still kind of grouped up?
They're grouped up. They're kind of stunned backwards as they're in like almost a perfect circle being pushed out from Maven's original position.
I'm going to cast my illusions about 15 feet off the boat and have them stay there, and I'm going to hold an action, my Shatter Illusion.
Cool. The shark people do in fact make their way in the ship's direction as they begin darting. They get in range of your illusion.
The closest one, I'm going to target that one, and I'm going to shatter both of my illusions on that one.
Okay.
25.
Absolutely hits.
And then dirty 20 on the second one.
Yeah, totally hits. Roll damage for both of those. As these 2 perfect illusions of Korvac now sprint across the surface of the water, and they both explode into a million pieces.
12 total force damage.
Cool. Yeah, your illusions collide with this figure and shatter, sending ripples across the surface of the water. They're still coming, but it definitely hurt it. All right, and then Tallgroff, you're just waiting to beat somebody up.
Unless Maven's making it up to me.
Yeah.
So as I go to grab Maven's hand, the points of my fingertips in which the Heart of Hungering touch them are going to glow with a strange, non-silvery energy.
What?
And I'm going to grab his hand and cast Life Transference to him.
Okay.
So I don't know if this works like I think it's going to work, but I hope it is. So I take 48 necrotic damage, and one
he's-
creature of my choice
He's resistant to.
gains hit
Oh,
points equal to twice of that.
Whoa.
Okay. This is awesome. Yeah, totally.
So you
Do
take
it.
damage and I heal that?
Yeah, but I'm
How does it-
resistant to
Yeah,
necrotic
but he's
damage.
resistant. It's going to go off the dice roll. It won't go off of what you take.
That's great.
That's dope. Yeah. You focus on the energy,
famous
that,
for that armor.
crackling energy you felt throughout the silver flame, whatever darkness it is that has been building behind it. You focus on that energy. You watch it crackle out of your fingertips into Maven's forearm, where you're grasping on like the dwarven handshake, pulling him up onto the boat.
So that's 12 points of necrotic, so you gain 24.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a great spell.
Very nice.
Especially for him.
in your specific case right now.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice. Yeah, as this dark energy is pulled from your body,
that.
Tallgroff, and expelled as this useful radiant energy that heals you. Dude, take some inspiration, bro. That was awesome.
right.
Yeah,
What a
that's
good RP
cool.
spell. Okay, Korvac.
I'm actually going to do the same thing.
Life transference.
dope. I'm gonna focus on the darkness in my leg.
Touch
I'm
the
just gonna
leg
kick
and you will be healed.
I'm just gonna kick him off the side of the boat and heal him.
This is Korvac!
This is Captain Korvac the Undying. I'm going to bonus action summon my two illusions. Main action, I'm going to shatter them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you charge all your illusions at him, no problem.
So natural 20 for the first
Hits.
one, and a 21 second one.
Also hits.
28 for the first one, again, force damage. And then max damage for the second one for 8 points of force damage.
So 36 points. Yeah, that all happens. The one in the front is looking pretty rough at this point. He's still up. I'll say 2 of them get in range to begin climbing the ladder and get an attack off on you, Maven.
Sure. Am I on deck or on the ladder?
You're like on the ladder. Tallgroff is reaching down and pulling you up onto the boat, and then these were-sharks are climbing up the bottom of the ladder and snapping at your heels. First one's a 15 to hit.
Miss.
He's going to slash at you with his sword.
I'll take
Natural
it.
20.
Take it. I love it.
11 points of slashing damage. And then,
He needs to make a dex save too.
ooh, spicy. That's a 17.
Okay, so that's half damage.
Okay.
8 damage, so 4.
As you, as this energy shocks back at him, and the second were-shark that's going to get an attack on you this turn, Maven, begins climbing up the other one's shoulders, lunges off, and is going to try and grapple onto you and pull you off the boat.
Oh, Jesus.
I have his hand. Does it not have advantage on that?
I'll say you can make an athletics check as well.
All right, cool.
22.
25.
25. So Tallgroff, as this were-shark's 24 roll with his natural 20, because I got some hot dice, he grabs onto you, Maven, and for the first time in a while, you feel yourself helpless in this situation as you feel this shark pinning your arms down to your side and starting to rip you off the boat as he's pushing on the edge. You do, however, feel with the combined strength with Tallgroff, him grabbing onto you, you're able to be pulled up onto the deck of the ship out of the shark's grasp. So, Maven, it's your go.
So how many of them are on the...
There's 2 like immediately on the ladder, one that just like flopped back into the water, and then but they're all swarming around. You saw probably half of them swim down to the bottom of the boat to get up on the other side.
This one that's right in front of me, then I'll just hit him with my Spawn of Kilmore. Natural 1.
Oh,
Natural 1, bummer.
Lucky.
Yeah, as he's making his way up the ladder, you reach down and go to slash at his head, but unfortunately you're just too high up on the ladder, and you swing down, just missing the top of his head.
I'll just, even though the whole crew's there, I'll just say, Store to Thea, they're coming up the other side too.
They acknowledge it, and you can already see that a number of crewmates are gathered on the other ladder. They're definitely prepared for a waterboarding.
What? That made sense, but totally didn't make sense.
We're gonna waterboard the hell out of these guys when we get up here.
Realized it when I was saying it. Yeah. All right, so on their turn, the pretty wounded one that's leaning on the ladder right now, he turns to others. You hear him saying something in a language that Maven and Korvac, you've heard spoken before. You heard Doc speak it so long ago. A language that sounds like the crashing of waves, like the raining of water. And he dives off of the side of the ladder and dives straight down to the water. And the other sharks, the other were sharks, all looking at the ship, they see that they're outnumbered. This is a defeat, and they swim straight down.
Yeah, you're about to run.
As you're left in now just a gently rocking boat, Orion, you find your way back to the ship with the help of the guiding light. As you get on board, a number of the crew just look exhausted. They don't look particularly wounded, though. You do immediately see Maven covered in blood. A number of shark-like bites across his arms, across his chest, all over his body. He's looking pretty mangled.
Thanks for the boom, Maven, and I'll cure wounds.
I gave you a couple.
I'll cure wounds him as I kind of tap his shoulder as I collapse on my own next to him because I just swam like a quarter mile as a halfling.
Totally with gear.
In a storm. Didn't drown.
Yeah, with all your equipment. Yeah, I guess I should have had you roll, but we're here now. I don't know, you're level 9.
I was just going to polymorph again if I had to.
Well, it seems like the tables have turned now, huh, Maven?
What?
You got 10.
It's weird to see you down there all bloody and whatnot. Yeah, have some of this. I give him that wine.
I'll sniff it and pour it on my wounds.
It hurts.
Oh, don't
real
waste it,
bad.
man. I take it back. Show him how it's done, little one.
Like this.
I'll tilt it up when he drinks it.
Do you take like a big sip of it, Orion?
Maven said he's tilting it up.
You're dead.
Yeah. Being as you have no experience with drinking, really, you're just real jacked up and you black out.
Well.
You don't. There's no save.
I'll take a huge swig too, and then lay down opposite of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Maven almost wanting to feel pretty buzzed, if not a little bit more. You get into a comfort zone and the rocking of the ship and the slight dizziness. You pass out next to Orion, who you make sure is on his side.
Smee,
Captain.
make sure nobody wakes them up.
Of course, we're about 3 weeks from Gunderloon. Should we continue course there?
Yeah, forward, not back.
We're on it.
I know you are. I'll go back to my quarters.
Okay. Yeah, as you're all laying in bed, some of you a little bit buzzed, the gentle sounds of the sea shanties overhead and the distant, now growing distant, rumbling thunder of this sea storm. The waves calm down enough that it's just lulling you to sleep as you all get your long rest. And you get level 10. And that's where we'll call this session.
Oh, man. Thanks for listening to the latest installment of our game, Into the Storm, Season 2. If you are arriving in the middle of the story, listen back to Season 1, The Dungeon of the Wacky Wizard, to discover our player's origins. Please take a moment to leave us a review on Apple Podcast to share your opinion about our show, and be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any Lazy Bard releases. Now, here's Sean to close us out.
Hey guys, Sean Luke here. Just wanted to give a special shout out to our patrons. Thank you, Sam, Scott, Madison, and Alexis. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time.
I'm David William,
David Willie.
Just one David Willie. The dumb dummy. I thought that's what you were about.
I'm David Dumb Dumb.
I'm David Willie, the dumb dummy of tonight's episode.
Damn it, tonight's episode. We're gonna play Dungeon the dang old dim sale.